What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this POV review by Autobahn. My name is Max, and today you join me on a beautiful spring day, blue skies, blue 993. This is a 1996 Porsche 993 911 Turbo from the PON collection. PON is the importer for Porsche in the Netherlands. This car was traded in at the Porsche Center in Leusden, and then it was scooped up by the PON collection because it is an absolute gem of a car. So this was delivered new 1996 at the same Porsche Center. It was maintained at Porsche, and then it is now in the collection, and they were kind enough to let us have a drive in it, and I am very, very thankful for that, because just look at it. Oh, it is such a cool car. It might be in my top 5 favorite cars I've ever driven. I'm not exaggerating. I am absolutely in love with this car. The way it looks, the way it feels, the way it drives, just the feeling you get while driving it. The fact that it is an absolutely iconic 911, maybe arguably the prettiest one, the best looking one, especially in turbo form. Oh, it is glorious. So today I'm going to show you around it. We'll talk a bit about the 993 in general, but mostly about what makes this turbo so special, and then we'll take it for a drive towards the Autobahn for an Autobahn blast. So spec wise and design wise, it was drawn by Tony Hatter, and it was based on the 964. It's got the 964 front bonnet, it's got the doors, the roof, I think the windows as well, and it was sort of made on a budget. I think they said like 86% was new, but still they carried over some parts of the 964, but there were some key differences. So the front bumper, much more rounded, absolutely stunning, beautiful new headlights, and then the turbo got a more aggressive front bumper with these shark gills here at the front to take in air for some cooling in there as well. More cooling going on there, of course. And apparently it was quite a difficult task to get these like new style bumpers onto this old style door, and like this roof, this rain gutter here is also like old style Porsche 964 930, but I don't mind it. I think it's the absolute pinnacle of Porsche 911. It's small, but it's not dainty. Especially as a turbo, it still has a lot of muscle, and it just has really, really good presence. Also, turbo wheels, 18-inch with hollow spokes, 2-piece wheels that were welded together to save weight, and then the center cap. So this one you can recognize, well, not really, because you can switch out the center caps like one of the previous owners did. So a 1996 turbo, which this is, should have Porsche logos on there, Porsche crests, and the 97 and 98 turbos have this turbo center cap, but yeah, they were switched out apparently. Porsche turbo brakes, perforated discs, really good brakes. Around that we've got Pirelli P0 Rosso tires, 225s at the front, an 18-inch wheel, as I said. Pretty decent tire. We've got revised suspension. The 993 got a new multi-link suspension setup at the rear, aluminium, which was there to help mitigate the lift-off oversteer and just increase the stability of the car, because of course you have the engine behind the rear axle, and it was known as a widowmaker, especially the turbo, and this suspension really helped out with that on the 993. Now the turbo got a wider track and a wider body, so 6 centimeters wider than the Carrera. The Carrera S also got this wider body. You may have seen the Carrera S video I did recently, 993. Click in the top right corner if you want to check that out. Fully restored car, absolutely amazing. And then we've got 285 tires at the rear, 18-inch, and of course you end up at the business end. This is one of the best looking rears I think ever made in car history. The whole red deflector thing with the Porsche logo in there, accompanied by the dual exit exhaust, the oval pipes, the rounded bumper, and then that beautiful rear spoiler that houses the intercoolers. The shape of it, And just the flow of the roof into the spoiler and the hips. And then when you look in your rear view mirror, your side view mirror, you see this beautifully shaped rear spoiler. It's like you're looking at the Guggenheim Museum or something. It's just so pretty. It's achingly beautiful. I absolutely love it. Turbo badge on there as well. And again, it's like muscular, but still elegant and just pretty. So let's open that up, see if we can check out the engine. Well, you've got the intercoolers on top, and then you've got a 3.6 liter flat six, twin turbocharged for the first time, with 408 horsepower and 540 newton meters of torque. So you've got two triple K K16 turbochargers, relatively small, so you have less turbo lag. You've got air-to-air, obviously, intercoolers. It's the last of the air-cooled Porsches. Revised cylinder head and modified engine internals to get to this amount of power. Now, there was also a Turbo S available later on with bigger triple K K24 turbochargers, and that had 450 horsepower. That was basically the engine that you got in the GT2. The X51 package had basically that engine spec. It's also got the WLS1, which I don't know for certain, but I think it might be Works Leistungssteigerung, because it's a factory power increase package, but maybe I'm just completely off there. But that is what I think it stands for. That is the power package, the factory power package that we also had on the Carrera S recently, the X51 package. So the wheel tail spoiler, as it's called, absolutely beautiful. I am just completely in love with that. Now let's have a look inside. Open the door. As I said, it's like a 964 door, and I believe that the doors were fairly unchanged from like the 1960s. So you still have this super mechanical sound opening and closing. It's almost like a G-Class door. Turbo on the door sill there. And then we've got, did I mention the color? No, I didn't. This is ocean blue. Holy crap, absolutely stunning. Beautiful color. The car is in great condition, 131,000 kilometers, but oh, it is a stunner. And these wheels, by the way, the 18-inch turbo wheels, like the turbo design wheels, they were also available on the 4 and the 4S, but you didn't get the hollow spokes like you get on the turbo, so they were quite a bit heavier than the turbo wheels. Fun fact. And then we've got this classic gray is the color code interior with these ruffled heated seats. Actually quite a nice seat. It's fairly slim and narrow, but it is quite supportive, and seating position is pretty good. Nice and airy, spacious, light, as we are used to from old 911s, and actually for a tall human being like myself, 197. The only issue really is the steering wheel, which is this too big 4-spoke thing with a massive airbag, which is not adjustable lengthwise. So the 993 that we drove recently, the Carrera S, had a 996 steering wheel, which is a bit smaller, but also is a bit further towards you, and the driving position in that was absolutely perfect. So nice mod to consider if you have a 993. Put a 996 steering wheel on there. 6-speed manual gearbox, also for the first time in the 993, linked to the 4-wheel drive system, basically from the 959 Porsche, with a viscous coupling. And now we've got a limited slip diff at the rear. 4-wheel drive, 408 horsepower, 4.5 seconds 0 to 100, which is very quick, especially back in the day. And then let's start it up. Rear seats as well on the turbo, very convenient. I think we have to lock it and unlock it because it's got like a security thing. So start it up, and you've got that quintessential air-cooled Porsche sound, and also a very turbo-esque sound. Beautiful gauges with your rev counter with a digital speedo and a big speedo on the right there, the 5-dial setup. But just listen to this idle. Oh, smells good as well. It sounds, it's so recognizable. It's really, really good. Pedal setup also a bit weird. So you've got your clutch pedal is a bit strange, but it's pretty doable driving. Really good gear shift. Absolutely love that one. And then we've got proper AC. So let's go for a drive. You don't have anything to turn on or off. There's no sport mode, traction control, anything like that. You just hit the road and let the car do the talking. Beautiful gear shift. Oh, absolutely spot on. Second gear. Oh, and honestly, the moment you get in and drive this car, I don't know, I just fell in love immediately. It weighs 1500 kilos. The turbo, the four-wheel drive system weighs about 50 kilos. And then I think a regular Carrera is like 1390 or something. So it's slightly heavier than that, but still 1500 kilo, 400 horsepower. More than fast enough. And the power delivery is absolutely beautiful. From like 4000 RPM, the turbos start like properly delivering power, but they already produce 450 Newton meters at 2500 RPM, I think it was. Oh, there is something special about this generation, and I think even though it is very expensive already, it's like 230,000 euros already. I think they will go much higher still, because it is the perfect 911. It's small but spacious, it's powerful, it's modern enough that you have everything you need. You can even get the modern Porsche infotainment with CarPlay and stuff like that. It is absolutely gorgeous to look at. It drives really well, it feels solidly built. It is just the 911 to end all 911s. The 997 is much more modern, but it's a lot bigger. I think the 997 is my second favorite gen, but the 993 is really doing it for me. Oh, steering is 10 out of 10. So much feel. And the car just feels so nimble. You have that super agile front end, because you have a wide stance at the rear and a much more narrow stance at the front, and it just feels like that as well when you turn it in. So get out in front of that car. Now, it was basically a less aggressive version of the GT2 with four-wheel drive, and because the previous turbos were known as widowmakers, people thought that the turbo had gone soft because you had four-wheel drive and it was all a bit safer. Oh. But what they did is they instead basically invented a new type of supercar or sports car with four-wheel drive and just daily usability. The ride height was a bit higher than the GT2, and you know, you have a rear seat. It's so usable and it feels so solid and easy to drive. And like also when you drive it regularly around town or in traffic or just on the highway or on a B road, it's easy, it's fluent, it is fucking perfection. It really is. I am stunned by it. I knew that it was going to be good, and I've absolutely adored this car ever since it came out in the 90s. The look of it just, but driving it, it is one of those do meet your heroes cars, because it is definitely lives up to the expectations. So onto the Autobahn. We'll grab second gear here. Should have a bit of space. full throttle. Oh, you can shift so quickly. And the car gets up to speed so easily. And it has that same effortless performance that the turbo models still have and have always had. That's 277, have to brake here. Brakes for a 30-year-old car, really good. So the feel at the top of the pedal is a bit mushy, but then when you actually press them, you feel that there's actually pretty good performance. Top speed 290 kilometers an hour. Not sure if we'll get there today since it's quite busy, but we'll see. That was 276 already, which is not bad. There is something magical about this car. It feels to me like that roof CTR that we drove, the insane, like custom built, special made Porsche that is basically made to feel like the Yellowbird from the 1980s. This has that same feel, that big turbo manual gearbox, same cabin, relatively small, but it feels airy and light. And just it's that lightness, manual gearbox with a turbo engine. That combination just, it hits very hard. Oh, that's fourth gear. Oh. And also the suspension is absolutely perfect. So you have a bit of roll and sort of play, but that means that you can actually lean on it and you can approach the limit in a very nice way. And it also means that it's usable in your daily life, of course, which that is what a turbo is all about, if you ask me. Oh. Fuck me. So the 993 ran from 94 to 98, which is not even that long. They built around, well, just under 6,000 of these turbos. So that Carrera S that we drove recently was much more rare. I think 3,700, but in that spec, just insane, like 60 to 70 of those were built. So turbo, they made a lot more. 96 is this build year, but 97 and 98, they did some work on the transmission to make it a bit more strong and some other little modifications. They also came out with the Turbo S later on, which had that same power package, the 450 horsepower engine, and some carbon bits and stuff like that. GT2, as I said, they also had a Carrera RS, which was a lightweight, naturally aspirated 3.8 version. So we still have a lot of 993 to cover. So if you have a 993 and you want us to feature it on our channel, make sure that you send us a message on Instagram or a DM or an email or whatever, because what a freaking car. Absolutely love it. Or if you have any other cool car, also send us a message, of course. And the fact is that this performance, this handling, it all feels fast. 30 years later, it still feels fast because it's only 1,500 kilos and 400 horsepower is still a lot to this day. So it is a car that they built back then that must have been insane. It must have felt insane driving this back then, because it still feels very fast today. And I also feel like build quality on these 993s is very good, because even though it's based on a much older car, and they say they improved a lot, or that a lot was new on the car, but still Porsche was on a budget back then. And the fact that they built this thing so well, apparently they're also pretty reliable. Oh man, cars used to be so good. All right, so forgot to do a pull away, so let me just do that over here. 4.5 seconds, 0 to 100, which was very quick back then. You need to be, you know, a bit careful with it, because you've got four-wheel drive and a manual, so woo! Not a great launch, but anyway, I don't want to strain it too much, this beautiful old car. Thank you so much to PON for letting us have a drive in their gorgeous 993 in really good condition, 131,000 kilometers, but oh my god, it looks and feels absolutely immaculate. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. You can subscribe by clicking the big button in the middle. You can also check out this video on the right of the Carrera S 993, the restored one. Check that out if you're interested, or check out the playlist of reviews on the left. Thank you for watching. See you at the next one. Bye.